Yet somehow when it comes to the Jews, people lose their minds. Can you say demonic deception? Just look at the facts on the ground.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ava. I'm the proud president of Students Supporting Israel at Ohio State.
Yay!
Thanks, guys. Not used to that at all. Okay, so my question for you. There is an amazing population of Christian students at Ohio State, as you could see. And I'm really trying to get a lot of Christians more involved. Eric obviously has been amazing. Ratio Christi has been unbelievable. But I think a lot of people, the biggest gap is a lack of knowledge or a lack of understanding of why I care about Israel if I'm in America and I've never been there, I have no family there. So what do you say to that? And also, you know, people are twisting Charlie's, one of his, arguably his strongest convictions of his support for Israel. Charlie was a champion for Israel. He was our strongest ally, 1,000%. No gray area there. So what do you say to people who are twisting his words after his death and also, you know, arguing America first, why should we send our tax dollars there? And also arguing Christians get mistreated there. I mean, the list goes on.
Wow, there's a lot there.
Sorry.
All right, let me deal with Charlie first. The day before he was murdered, I was in a meeting with Charlie and 3 Israelis, one of them here in the US, 2 of them by Zoom in Israel. And the whole premise of the meeting was for them to tell Charlie how to answer questions better about the Israel-Hamas situation. Charlie had not given up on Israel. What Charlie was struggling with was the fact that whenever he said he didn't agree with something the Israeli government did, that some of his own donors and other people out there would call him an anti-Semite, which is ridiculous. And so he said, Frank, what do you say to this? I said, first of all, let's just talk about blessing Israel, okay? Let's assume that's what God wants us to do, as many Christians would argue. Does bless mean that you have to agree with everything someone does?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. In fact, if you have a child, if you bless the child, that doesn't mean you agree with the child on everything. If you do, you're not blessing them, you're hurting them. Love does not mean approval, ladies and gentlemen. Love means seeking what's best for the other person according to the will of God. Okay, so that means a lot of times you're going to have to disagree with them. So Charlie is pointing out that, and I'm pointing out, that blessed doesn't mean you have to agree all the time, all right? Now, if Christians will say today, well, you know, the Israeli government is not Christian, obviously, it's Jewish and it's kind of secular, it's apostate. My response, the Israeli governments in the Old Testament were apostate too. Okay, every single king of Israel was a bad king. There was only a handful of kings from Judah that were good, and God judged them. God may judge the nation of Israel today, but that doesn't mean we ought not support Israel's right to exist, because if anybody thinks the good guys on this side of this particular conflict, not that they're both perfect, don't get me wrong, are Hamas, you have not read the Hamas charter. Go and read the Hamas charter. I think it comes from 1985. It's online, you can read it. It just says the only solution to this is jihad. The only solution to this is basically dead Jews. There's not a 2-state solution, there's a 1-state solution. What's the 1 state? Hamas gets everything, all Jews are dead. Okay? Now let's just back up, ladies and gentlemen, and look at this from the United States perspective. Suppose there was a cartel in Mexico that had in its charter the death of Americans. And proportionally, one day they came across the border and murdered 30,000 people and took another 30,000 hostage back over the border in Mexico. Would anybody here be going, gee, I wonder who the good guys and bad guys are? What would we do? We would obliterate the cartel, rescue the hostages, and then have a parade that they're dead and we did what we should have done. Yet somehow when it comes to the Jews, people lose their minds. Can you say demonic deception? Just look at the facts on the ground. Now, you can argue how far should Israel go in Gaza. You can argue all that. And for those of you who think that what Israel has done has been wrong, a majority of what they've done is wrong, my question, what should they have done? What should they have done? What would we have done? What's President Trump talking about right now, going over to Nigeria and stopping the murder of Christians? Okay? Why? Why is he doing that? Because according to the Apostle Paul, the purpose of government is to punish wrongdoers. That's why we have a government. You know, James Madison, the founder of our Constitution, said if men were angels, no government would be necessary. You know, we wouldn't need a government if we were all angels. We would all get along all the time. The main purpose of government is to protect innocent people from evil by punishing wrongdoers. So what Trump wants to do is punish wrongdoers because the Nigerian government won't do it. Let's see if he can pull that off. I don't know if he can. What's the purpose of the Israeli government? To punish wrongdoers, protect their innocent people from evil. What's supposed to be the role of the Hamas government? Same thing. Punish wrongdoers and protect their people from evil. But instead, the Hamas government is doing evil. Look, you don't have to take my word for it. Look at the facts on the ground. And I caveat that again by saying, doesn't mean everything Israel does is right. Every government is corrupt to some point because we're all corrupt to some point. We're all fallen. So we always have to check ourselves. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
All right.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Ava.
You'd be so honored.
Thank you.